Dr. Switzer?
Yes, come in. I'm just washing my hands.
I'm Catherine Bigman. Janet Carlisle referred me.
Oh, yes. Fear of being buried alive in a box.
Yes, that's me. Should I lay down?
Oh, no, we don't do that anymore. Just have a seat. And let me tell you a bit about our billing. I charge $5 for the first 5 minutes, and then absolutely nothing after that. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Too good to be true, as a matter of fact.
Well, I can almost guarantee you that our session won't last the full 5 minutes. Now, we don't do any insurance billing, so you would either have to pay in cash or by check.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't make change.
All right.
And go.
Go.
Well, tell
What?
me about the problem that you wish to address.
Oh, okay. Well, I have this fear of being buried alive in a box. I start thinking about being buried alive and I begin to panic.
Has anyone ever tried to bury you alive in a box?
No, but truly thinking about it does make my life horrible. I mean, I can't go through tunnels or be in an elevator or in a house, anything boxy.
So what you're saying is you're claustrophobic.
Yes, that's it.
All right, well, let's go, Catherine. I'm going to say 2 words to you right now. I want you to listen to them very, very carefully. Then I want you to take them out of the office with you and incorporate them into your life.
Shall I write them down?
Well, if it makes you comfortable, it's just 2 words. We find most people can remember them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here they are.
Stop it!
I'm sorry?
Stop it!
Stop it?
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T.
So, what are you saying?
You know, it's funny. I say 2 simple words, and I cannot tell you the amount of people who say exactly the same thing you're saying. I mean, this is not Yiddish, Catherine. This is English.
Stop it.
So, I should just stop it.
There you go. I mean, you don't want to go through life being scared of being buried alive in a box, do you? I mean, that sounds frightening.
It is.
Then stop it.
I can't. I mean, it's been with me since childhood.
No, we don't go there. Just stop it.
So I should just stop being afraid of being buried alive in a box.
You got it. Good girl. Well, it's only been 3 minutes, so that will be $3.
Actually, I only have a 5, so.
Well, I don't make change.
Then I guess I'll take the full 5 minutes.
Fine. All right. Well, what other problems would you like to address?
I'm bulimic. I stick my fingers down my throat.
Stop it! Nut of some kind? Don't do that.
But I'm compelled to. My mom used to call me fatty.
No. No, we don't go there.
But I've been having this dream.
No, we don't go there either.
But my horoscope did say...
We definitely don't go there. Just stop it. What else?
Well, I have self-destructive relationships with men.
Stop it!
You want to be with a man, don't you?
Yes.
Well, then stop it. Don't be such a big baby.
I wash my hands a lot.
That's all right.
It is?
I wash my hands all the time. There's a lot of germs out there. Yeah, don't worry about that one.
I'm afraid to drive.
Well, stop it!
how are you going to get around? Get in the car and drive, you kook.
Stop it!
You stop it! You stop it!
What's the problem, Kathy?
I don't like this. I don't like this therapy at all. You're just telling me to stop it.
And you don't like that.
No, I don't.
So you think we're moving too fast? Is that it?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, then let me give you 10 words that I think will clear everything up for you. You want to get a pad and a pencil for this one?
Right.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here are the 10 words.
Stop it or I'll bury you alive in a box!
What's the point of the video? She has these thoughts and she wants to stop them. It doesn't work just to say stop it.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting how often your family members and friends just say get over it, just stop it? It doesn't work. What I want to share with you today is a technique called thought stopping that allows you to free yourself up of troubling thoughts. And it's based on the premise that every one of you came in here with two minds. You came in here with your conscious mind, hopefully you're conscious, and you're paying attention, you're taking notes, but you also have an unconscious mind. Every one of you has an unconscious mind, and it's paying attention as well. In fact, oftentimes your unconscious mind will communicate to me with nodding, with twitches or with movements. Your head will shake right or left or up or down as a way of your unconscious mind communicating, and you won't even be aware of it. It's below the conscious level. Make sense so far? Well, your unconscious mind has a lot of skills. Your unconscious mind is the one that controls your breathing. They say if you had to consciously control your breath, you'd pass out within 4 minutes because you'd forget to take a breath. Fortunately, it's unconscious and you automatically breathe. Your unconscious mind controls your digestion, the elimination process, all of the organs of the body, your memory, and your body's ability to heal. All of this is done by your unconscious mind. If you were to get a cut on your arm, and you were to ask your doctor to heal it, the doctor really doesn't heal it. The doctor cleans it and covers it. None of the doctors know how to tell the body to send white blood cells to that part of the body and to clean the wound out. We don't know how to tell the capillaries to knit and grow back together. We don't know how to tell the skin how to form a scab and then heal underneath that scab. This is all done by your unconscious mind. That's a small example. Take a bigger example like a broken leg. When we break a leg, the doctor doesn't heal it. The doctor aligns it, and then what? They put a cast on it. And what do? They tell you, stay off of it and to get plenty of rest. Doctors really know that most of your healing is done by your unconscious mind, and that what you need is plenty of rest to allow your unconscious processes to do its work. That bone, when it's lined up, heals itself. It actually grows back together in what they call knitting. In fact, the most important aspect of putting a bone together is to make sure that it's aligned perfectly, because once it's knit, you can't re-break it. They say that the place where a bone knits is about 10 times stronger than the rest of the bone. It's as though your unconscious mind says, ooh, there was a weak spot there, And I'm going to make sure that it doesn't break again by making it stronger. That's a pretty smart unconscious mind that not only will heal it, but will make it stronger than it was before. Now, if I were to grab a broomstick and bring it over here and break the broomstick, and then lay it down and line it up perfectly and put a cast on it and set it over in the corner, about how long would it take for that broomstick to be repaired? Never. Because it doesn't have an unconscious mind. So it's something pretty special going on with your unconscious mind. Well, what I want to suggest is that giving you a technique where you add consciousness to your unconscious mind and start giving your unconscious mind specific assignments, specific things that you want to work on. It's pretty simple to do. The hardest thing to do is to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And by that I mean disconnecting the conscious mind. How many people have had a time where you wanted to remember something and it was that kind of, it's on the tip of your tongue and you can't remember and you can't remember? And what happens? If you try real hard, you end up getting a headache, but trying doesn't seem to, does it? Usually what people report is they forget about it. And an hour later or a day later, it pops into your head. Here's how I explain that process. You've asked your unconscious mind to come up with the answer, and it starts sorting through the database, looking for the answer. And when it finds it, it sends it up to your conscious mind. So much of your memory is below the conscious level. Nobody here has probably thought about the color of the first car you ever drove. Until now, that is. And now you're all thinking about that first car you ever drove and what color it was. Now you haven't probably thought about that in years, but it's there. The unconscious mind knows right where to go to the database and pull that out. I was talking about Westerns with a friend, and I was thinking, you know, not really a big Western fan, but there's one Western that I really loved. And I have this image of these 3 or 4 guys sitting on horses at the top of this kind of a cliff looking over this town, and it's deserty, you know, it's a Western. Couldn't think of the name of it. I remember Linda Hunt was in it. She's a really short little lady, and she worked behind the bar, and she had a special ramp built behind the bar so she would be the same height as her customers.
I think I know who it was.
And I couldn't remember it, and I couldn't remember it. The next day I'm taking a shower, and all of a sudden, Silverado pops into my head. That was the name of the movie. Kevin Kline was one of the actors in it. That process is that I turned it over to my unconscious mind, and I forgot about it. My unconscious mind continued to puzzle on it, continued to work on it, without my conscious awareness. So that's an important part of this process that I want to talk about. We're giving something to the unconscious mind, and we have to consciously quit thinking about it. Make sense? You know, if you try to remember something, it doesn't work. You end up getting frustrated. It's when you forget about it and you go do something else that your unconscious mind goes to work. So we're going to depend on that principle. What we want to do is, and this is a 3-step process. I'm going to use my hands to give you a visual. You can use your hands if you want. I don't use my hands when I'm actually doing the technique, but I like to explain it using my hands because it's kind of fun. So in my left hand, I'm going to name the problem. I'm going to imagine I'm going to put the problem in my left hand. Now this can be anything, but it works really well on any kind of anxious thoughts. So regarding my anxiety about going to the dentist on Tuesday, I'm going to imagine that in my hand. In the right hand, I'm going to have a switch that I flip to tell the unconscious mind to go to work. Now what does that mean, have a switch to flip? What I want to suggest is that you come up with a word or a phrase that's just a signal to your unconscious mind. And it can be anything. It can be the silliest thing. In fact, the sillier the better. The only rule I have is that it's something that you don't use in normal conversation. This is going to be a special word or phrase that your unconscious mind, whenever it hears it, it knows it's time to go to work. I use the phrase release and heal, because that's what I'm asking the unconscious mind to do, to release the problem and to heal it so that it never comes back. But I had clients that used Happy Cat. I had one client who used the phrase nodding sunflowers. She had a memory from childhood where she was about 6 and she was out in the garden and there was these big 6-foot sunflowers. The sun was shining through the sunflowers and they were blowing in the breeze, and it was one of the happiest moments of her life. And so her phrase is nodding sunflowers. Whenever she has a visual image of the nodding sunflowers or says nodding sunflowers, it's a signal for her unconscious mind to go to work. It's a switch that you flip. You're certainly welcome to use release and heal for today. And if you come up with something in the future that you want to use, cool. You don't really have to do anything. Just you make that decision. Your unconscious mind will go along with it. You could use liquid linoleum lollipops. My hunch is that's not something that you would ever say in a conversation. So it's ideal for this kind of a switch. Now, how does a switch work? If you were to go over to the light switch, you flip it and the lights come on. What if you don't believe in electricity? And you walked over to the switch and you flipped it. What would happen? The lights would still go on, wouldn't they? It's not about belief. This is not really about belief. This is the fact that your unconscious mind heals your body whether you believe it or not. There is some research to indicate that if you do believe it, your body heals faster. So if you think you're going to get better, and if you have this positive attitude that you're going to heal quickly, people tend to heal a little bit more quickly. But the reality is your body is going to heal itself whether you believe it's going to heal it or not. You can, with a cut on your arm, you can keep saying, you're not going to heal, you're not going to heal, and it will still heal. Maybe 40 seconds slower. We don't know what the time frame is, but there is some indication that having a positive attitude does tend to improve the healing process. So I want to suggest that this technique is going to work whether you believe it or not. I just want you to suggest that you give it a chance. What does it cost you? I'll even say it here on videotape. If it doesn't work, you'll get your money back. Because you're not paying anything. Okay, so 3-step process. Step 1, name the problem. And I typically use the phrase regarding this anxiety or regarding this unforgiving thought or regarding this problem with my shoulder. Step 2 is flip the switch. So in my case, it would be saying the phrase release and heal. Step 3, for those of you who are writing on your paper, I want you to look at this. Forget about it. You challenge your Italian mobster and you forget about it. Forget about it. I'm not so good at it. But the idea is, think about something else. Now, if I were to tell you, on the table over there is a Thrive bottle. It's pink. It's got a white top, and it's almost completely full of water, and there's some ice floating in it, and it's sitting right next to that blue notebook. And I don't want you to think about that pink bottle. Don't think about that pink bottle, all right? What are you thinking about? The eyes go to the pink bottle, don't they? See, our brain doesn't have an eraser. And that was the point of the video with Bob Newhart. You can't stop thinking about something. We don't have an eraser. How do you not think about that water bottle? Think about this white container. And notice that it has the words here, Expo, on it, and it's got a little red spout on the front, and it's blue, and really noticing that it's got a narrow shape, and then it's got these like 4 tiers here, like almost like a wedding cake with all these different levels. And really noticing that bottle, you forget about the water bottle. I can't even remember where it was. So that's part of the process of turning it over to your unconscious mind. You think about something else. You distract yourself with something else. Questions?
No.
Okay. One little piece left in this process, and that is talking to your unconscious mind. So what I want to do is have everybody put your pens down, sit and be comfortable. If you'd like, close your eyes, because I'd like you to put your conscious mind on hold, and I want to talk to your unconscious mind. So just relax. Whether you're thinking about what I'm saying, or whether you're thinking about something you did today, or remembering your favorite movie, or better yet, going to that special place you have, that special vacation spot where you had the most fun you've ever had, and just remembering that. I want to talk to our unconscious mind. And I want to say to the unconscious mind, thank you. I've never thanked you before, but thank you for all the work you've been doing for all these years. You've been healing my body. You've been running my digestion, my elimination, my heart and my breathing. Thank you for all the work you've done for us all these years. And now, I want to make an agreement with you. Every time I think about a problem, and then flip the switch, it could be the phrase is going to be release and heal, or anything that I come up with in the future. I want you to take that problem, go to the root cause of it, and release it from my body. Free me up of this worry, this anxiety, whatever the problem is. Not only do I want you to release it, but I want you to heal that part of the body so that it never comes back. And I'm giving you permission to do that. I'm giving you permission, unconscious mind, to go anywhere in my body. My shoulders, my stomach, any organ, any muscle, any cell, any molecule, any DNA, any subatomic particle, anywhere in my body. I'm giving you permission to go to the root cause of this problem, release it, and heal it. If the problem is not in my body but in my environment, I'm giving you permission to go there and release the problem. And by environment, it could be the room that I'm in, the house that I'm in, the community that I'm in, the city that I'm in. It could be something that's happening on the planet, or maybe it's a relationship between the planet and the stars. I don't know about astrology, but if astrology is affecting me, I'm giving you permission to go anywhere in space to the root cause of the problem, releasing it completely, and healing it so that it never returns. More than that, I'm giving you permission to go anywhere in time. If this is a problem that started when I was younger, I'm giving you permission to go back in time, release it, and heal it. If it's something that happened when I was first born, or even while I was in the womb, I'm giving you permission to go back, find the root cause, and release it. But unconscious mind, I'm giving you permission to go anywhere. If it's something that happened in a past generation, that's been handed down cellularly from generation to generation, I'm giving you permission to go back to that root generation, that root cause, and release it. Even more, I don't know if past lives exist or not, but you do. And if this is something that happened because of a past life, some kind of a karmic debt, I'm giving you permission to go back in time to the root cause. In fact, going back to the root cause anywhere in time and space, to find the root, to release it from my body, and to heal my body so that it never returns. And I just want to say, thank you, unconscious mind, for being my willing servant, for being a team member with me, and working with release and heal. Okay, thanks guys. Back to your conscious mind. There's not much more to say about this. It's as simple as 1, 2, forget about it. So, play with me this one time. What I want to have everybody do is use your hands, and I'll go through an example just so you get a feel for it. And we'll use your hands, though I want to remind you that you don't have to do the hand thing. I just like to do it because it's a fun visual. So, putting out your left hand, we're going to put the problem in it. So, think or say with me, regarding my skepticism that this FUI will even work,
Regarding my skepticism that this will even work.
release and heal.
Release and heal.
Okay, forget about it. So now, I want you to notice that there's a little yellow tag right up here, and it says television. It isn't as if you didn't know that this was a television, right? But for some reason, there's a little tag up here that I wanted. Why am I pointing out this yellow tag on the wall?
So we know there's television.
No,
On just minds knows.
I'm distracting you. I'm putting your mind on something else. That's the third part of the technique. Think about something else. Quit thinking about the technique and think about the yellow piece of paper or this badge that's hanging from me that looks like it has food in it. Oh, I have to erase that on my videotape. Yeah, think about something else. And just go back with your life. Now, if it happens that 15 minutes from now that anxiety pops back into your head, what do? Regarding this remaining anxiety, release and heal, and go back to doing what you're doing. Forget about it. Channel your Italian mobster. I think it actually comes from Billy Crystal movie, Analyze This.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, that's all there is to this technique. Now, for those of you who need something a little bit less esoteric or a little bit more cognitive, I talk about the work of Byron Katie. And Amy, if you were here last week, I think Amy also talks about Byron Katie's work. Katie is this amazing woman who back in 1986 was so severely depressed that they had put her in a residential program on an undetermined basis. It was actually an eating disorder clinic, but where she was growing up, they didn't have a place like Brookside. She was sleeping up in an attic, and she would not sleep in the bed. She slept on the floor because she didn't believe she deserved to sleep in a bed. That's how depressed she was. She woke up one morning and was not depressed, and has never been depressed a day in her life since 1986. In fact, since then, she's traveled around the world teaching people how to do this. And it's called The Work. If you were to go online and look for thework.com, you would find it. But it really is what we refer to on your yellow sheet as the 4 questions. Katie came up with this mental technique that transformed her life. And here's how I explained what happened with Katie. She woke up that morning, and the first thing she saw was just colors and movement and light. She saw this movement, she saw these colors, there was no words. It's as though her right hemisphere, the abstract part of the brain, woke up, but her left hemisphere, the cognitive part, didn't wake up. And she sat there in a state of perfect bliss and enjoyment for 30 seconds, for a minute, something like that. Short period of time, but she was just happy. And then her left brain woke up, and she started naming, oh, that light is coming through the window. Oh, that object is my foot. Oh, that movement is a cockroach that's climbing on my foot. And she started to go to that yuck of, oh, cockroach, foot, they don't mix. But she had the insight to say, wait a minute. I was happy. I was in a state of bliss. And now I'm not. What changed in the room? Nothing in the room changed. The only thing that changed was my brain, my thinking. I put a label on the cockroach as bad or wrong, and I had a negative feeling. So she came up with these 4 questions that she uses anytime she has a negative feeling. And the first question is it true? Whatever this thought that I'm having, is it true? And you just answer that with a simple yes or no answer. My boss hates me. Is it true? Yes or no? Question number 2, can I know for 100% certainty that it's true? Can I be sure, 100% sure that it's true? Question number 3, how do I feel when I believe that thought? And it's just as simple as, what's the physical body reaction? Is it a tightness in my stomach? Is it clenching my fist? Is it tearing up? What's the physical feeling that happens when I believe that thought, my boss hates me? And question number 4, who would I be without that thought? What happens as you do this is you begin to realize that the thing in your life isn't causing the problem, it's your thought about that thing that's causing the problem. And in my example, my boss hates me. Is it true my boss hates me? Well, sometimes I think it's true, yeah. Can I know for 100% certainty? No. There's not much that I can say for 100% certainty. How do I feel? How do I act when I have that belief that my boss hates me? Well, I feel like someone's punched me in the stomach. I don't want to go to work. I come in late because I'm dry. I just don't want to be here. I want to leave early. There's no way I enjoy myself going to work. I'm just suffering. That's number 4 is, who would I be without that thought? Who would I be without this story that my boss hates me? Gosh, if that weren't true, if I didn't believe that, I would enjoy coming to work. I would enjoy being here. I might even come in early or volunteer to work extra days. Because I really like my work. Now those are the 4 questions, and then she follows it by this thing called a turnaround. And it's based on the premise that you've already defined, well, it's not completely true. When I think the thought, I suffer. Without the thought, I would be much happier. And then you turn it around. My boss likes me would be one turnaround. And then how do you feel when you have the thought that my boss likes some of my work? Now the idea here is to come up with 3 examples that my boss likes me. Well, I did get the regular step raise, the regular cost of living raise when I was due. I've had a couple of evaluations that were fairly positive. And she's complimented me on the fact that I do this particular part of my job pretty well. So those are 3 examples that my boss does like my work. The 4 questions and the turnaround. What you begin to discover is that almost all of your negative emotions are caused by your thinking, not by the world, but by your thinking about the world. Your belief that something isn't right or should change. Now Katie, her name is Byron Katie. The name of her first book, and the one that talks about this or introduces the principle, is called Loving What Is. And I actually use it or teach it as part of the radical acceptance that I'll talk about tomorrow. It really is realizing that the world doesn't have to change. The only thing that has to change is your thinking about the world in order for you to find happiness. It doesn't mean to say you don't make changes, but you discover, oh, this person is the way they are. It's not my job to change them. It's my job to be happy. And if the person in your life or the thing in your life is not serving you, move on. Because the only person you're going to ever be able to change is yourself. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. So, the 4 questions. Is it true? Can I know for 100% certainty that it's true? How do I feel when I believe that thought? And who would I be without that thought? On the bookshelf, I had the copy of the book, Loving What Is. I hope it's still here.
It is it? I just saw it, I was over there looking at the book.
Oh.
And there's also another book on the bookshelf called Who Would You Be Without Your Story? And it's Katie actually just sitting down with people and doing the work, going through the 4 questions, and it's a transcript of her interactions with people. And that's basically what Katie does. She has a worksheet that you fill out, and then she invites you up to sit next to her, and she just walks through the worksheet with doing the 4 questions. In fact, when she was in Portland here a couple of years ago, that's what she did. We were at the Unity Church for about 3 hours, and one after another, people would come up on the stage and go through the process. And also, after this group, I didn't think to make copies, but after this group, if you're interested in having some of the worksheets, she has 2 basic worksheets. One is called Judge Your Neighbor. And that's where she suggests that you start. It's coming up with your critical thoughts about someone else. Judge your neighbor, ask the 4 questions, turn it around. And then the second worksheet is called One Belief at a Time, where you actually work on negative beliefs that are making your life less than joyful. So we're really talking now about 2 techniques. One with your unconscious mind, and one with your conscious mind. Which one you use is up to you. Which one you resonate with is kind of up to you. I like the Release and Heal, and I use it all the time, particularly if I'm doing something, if I'm busy and I have this negative thought or this grumpy thought popping in my head, I just release and heal it. But there are other times when you've got a persistent, nagging kind of unforgiveness or attitude or something, where the 4 questions works wonderfully. And you consciously challenge it. Both are powerful techniques. Both of them I use all the time. Both of them, I believe, are life transforming. Questions?